Susan, good morning to you.
Good morning,
Welcome.
Warrior.
Thank you for joining us here on Morning Live on SABC2. Do you think that Julius Malema's attorneys will oppose the application?
No, at this point, we are really not altogether sure about it. It seems that he may very well, because he has got just about everything to lose, should he not oppose it. But then on the other hand, we've seen him appearing and him proclaiming himself as being quite desperate and in the financial doldrums at this stage. So it seems that it is running one way. We've heard that some of the reports say that it is also an attempt by SARS to try to flush out any possible hitherto undeclared sources of income that Julius Malema may have. So that may be one final trick, that they could come up with a serious effort to settle those debts, but so far the whole public role is assuming is one of down and out.
What of his political status, if any, right now? At what point is Julius as a politician right now?
Yes. No, one can never look at Julius only just as Julius. It is also the story of the Youth League and the ANC Youth League, of course. And I think we're seeing at the stage the end of a chapter, going towards the end of a chapter of an amazing part of ANC history, a part where the ANC, the big leader, was in fact pitched against his nemesis, the Youth League leader. And Julius Malema assumed a lot of power, and the Youth League became very arrogant in assuming and positioning themselves very publicly from the rooftops as the big kingmaker. Maybe they have been, but kingmakers thus far have made sure that they're not on the wrong side of the rising or the strong remaining incumbent power. And that's probably what was the major reason in this relative downfall or the decline of the Youth League that we see at this stage. Main body that came out as powerful, a Mangaung victory, which many people say is very powerful for President Zuma, but we also know the kind of effort that went into that victory. It was really a delicate by delicate constructed victory there, and there's a large part of the ANC that does not feel part of that. But the Youth League part of the ANC and that other part of the ANC that doesn't feel part of it, they don't necessarily come together. Yeah. And the opposition to President Zuma at the Mangaung conference would have been much more highly contested had the Youth League not come with all the baggage of having appropriated so much public funds.
As a kingmaker, the Youth League is finished now, in your view?
For the time being, yes. One never says never about the Youth League. And we see that the current one is still they are probably going out, but they have been making deals with the incumbents so they can just be the president that seems likely to be replaced of the Youth League and not the entire Youth League disbanded. So they've been the incumbents have been fighting for their own political survival. And in the process, they did have to sacrifice Julius.
So as for Julius, as a politician, do you think he can make a comeback, or this is it for him?
You know, he's going towards his mid-30s. That is still relatively young. I think if we know about politics, and we know that Julius is not the only one that did what he did, although in a very spectacular way, going about public funds and making deals and so on. So that baggage is not necessarily a severe drawback in South African politics. He could still come back, but I think he is destined for a serious time in a cooler box, and perhaps working from the grassroots up. It could very well re-establish credibility.
In terms of the way the law has sought to address whatever illegal matters were, do you think that he could be incarcerated? Do you see potentially that he could go to jail even?
There is certainly a potential in all big cases like this, but we also know that publicly there seems to be a tendency that deals can be made. We do not know, however, what political driving force is behind the move to ensure the marginalization of Julius Malema.
Consequences for those who supported him?
All around, we see that, and that in many ways converge with the opposition to Zuma that we saw in Mangaung. On one front, there is of many public statements, no, we are not taking revenge, we are not doing purges. On the other hand, we see the top ANC leaders going, top 6 including them, going systematically through the provinces such as North West and Limpopo, and systematically edging out the people who had both opposed and had supported Julius Malema.
So do you understand that to be purging, cleaning up?
It is not as severe. It's probably a more modest form of purging, but then really making the space and ensuring that the top leader's position gets emboldened in that process.
All right, let's leave it at that. Thank you very much, Susan Booysen, joining us this morning, talking about the political and financial fortunes of Julius Malema. You may want to comment, tweet at Mbuli Vuyo, at Leanne Manners, text 33726. Let's check it.